Just stay with us.
Top of the morning to you and welcome again to another edition of TMI Socials. I am Anuoluwapo Stevens here to keep you abreast with the latest of things that trended during the course of yesterday up until today. Now, let's begin with a trendy gist that was all over the news from yesterday morning up until last night, even up until this moment. So, moving over to it. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and fuel marketers under the aegis of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria yesterday clashed again over the removal of subsidy on petrol. Now, the chief Executive Officer, Financial Derivative Company, had an interview on a national television program on Sunday where he explained that fuel subsidy was not removed but reduced. Similarly, all marketers told The Punch on Tuesday that subsidy on petrol was increasing considering the crash of the naira against the United States dollar and the cost of crude oil, stressing that the PMS should sell for 1,200 naira per litre in a free market. Petrol, which is solely imported into the country by the NNPCL, currently sells for between 670 naira per litre to 660 naira per litre, depending on the location of purchase in Nigeria. However, the Chief Corporate Communications Officer of the NNPCL, Olufemi Sonye, dismissed the positions of economists and marketers as assumptions, maintaining that the federal government had indeed discontinued petrol subsidy. Now, this particular story trended from yesterday morning up until like noon of yesterday, and now in a recent development, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPCL) assures the public that there is no imminent increase in the cost of premium motor spirits, that's PMS, commonly known as petrol. NNPCL urges Nigerians to disregard unfounded rumors and assures them that there are no plans for an upward review of the PMS price. Motorists nationwide are advised against engaging in panic buying as there is presently ample availability of PMS across the country. Let's move over to how you reacted to this particular story on social media. On Instagram, reacting to the first part of the story, it says, at this point, we need to apologize to former President Goodluck Jonathan for the 120 naira fuel protest that year. And then he is crying there. Okay, moving over real quickly. Let's see what we have. This particular user says, let us be honest with ourselves for once. This is not so bad. Imagine if it was pegged at 1,250 naira per litre. We will not kill some family. I think 1,200 is okay. Kudos to this administration. Well, I don't think this user lives in Nigeria. Moving over to another one. The fact remains that Nigerians adjust so easily. Instead of storming the streets with placards, they will still queue to buy that fuel at that price. But anyway, it's a good thing that NNPCL has debunked the particular story, saying it's a no-no, it's not happening. Let's move over. Now moving over to our second story for today. The acting secretary of the National Universities Commission, NUC, Chris Mayaki, says the commission has identified at least 37 illegal universities operating in Nigeria. He clarified this when he spoke with a national television on Wednesday, adding that some arrests have been made in this regard. Mayaki said the Department of State Services was involved in the clampdown on illegal institutions. The NUC secretary urged parents to check the Commission's website for illegal and legal visitors in Nigeria so that their words don't fall victim of these institutions. Now that's the list of, if you could go back to the former picture there, that's the list of the illegal universities in Nigeria that you should watch out for. But let's move over to how you responded to this story. A whole lot of things has been happening in the educational sector. From there, and also Togo as well. Just recently they added Kenya and another country, but let's see how you responded to this particular story. I remember somebody saying that why wait up until this moment to inform Nigerians about the fact that there are illegal universities in the country? What happened to previous ones, and how can we detect? And another user saying, thumbs up, well done the federal government. It's a good thing that you are letting us know about the recent development happening in the country. Now let's move over to the third story I have for you today. A former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, yesterday failed to appear at the headquarters of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in Jabi, Abuja, to answer questions over an alleged 37.1 billion naira fraud. Farouk served as minister under former President Muhammadu Buhari from August 2019 to May 2023. Last week, the former minister was invited by the Anti-Graft Agency following a probe that was launched into her activities in the ministry when she was held sway. She was being investigated over the sum of 37.1 billion naira that was allegedly laundered under her watch through a contractor, James Okwete. Let's see how you responded online. So this user says, just imagine the audacity. The country can't survive like this. The plea lagging is just too much. With all of that happening, it will surely crumble. This woman was feeding school children who were at home during lockdown. No be witchcraft. A question mark there. Moving over to another reaction we have. Now this user says, EFCC with media game. Is she living in the moon? Come on, can't you just go to her house and grab her and do all of that stuff? This user says, nobody's above the law, therefore EFCC should do everything possible in order to get this woman. Now my final story for you today. Some social media users have expressed displeasure over the Akwa Ibom International Worship Center, labeling it as a misplaced priority. Udom Emmanuel, former governor of the state who built the church, had said it was a great significance to a state named after God and consisting of 99% Christian population. Emmanuel added that the building would be an altar that will perpetually draw God's blessings to the people of the state. At the time of the construction in 2021, a resident had faulted the rationality behind the project. However, the state government dismissed the critics, saying they were hypocrites. All right, let's see how you responded on the streets of socials. Yeah, that's the picture there of the International Christian Worship Center built by the Akwa Ibom state government. This user says, this is lovely. God is a rich God and lives in richly built places like this. I love it. Ooh. Moving over to another reaction. Now, Precious Ubaka says, many of you calling this a waste of money knows nothing. What do you know about tourist attraction? If this church becomes one of the most notable sites in Akwa Ibom, do you know how much the government will be making? Nigerians, don't be in a haste to condemn a smart innovation. One more reaction and we are out. Okay, let's see. This one says, countries are building factories to eliminate unemployment. My country is building churches so that people can come and pray for jobs. Oh my goodness, it's amazing how we get to see different stories and different things on the street of socials. But I really want to appreciate you for joining me today on this particular episode of TMI Socials. My name is Anu Luapor Stevens, and I'll see you next week.